So the lungs are essential respiratory organs which are situated in the thoracic cage. So external features, lungs. These are conical in shape. Okay, that means the apex which is directed upwards, the base which is broad, which is directed downwards. Again, it has three borders. This is the short and sharp anterior border. This is ill-defined and rounded posterior border, and this is the sharpest, that is the inferior border. Now, again, this how to determine the side of the lungs, left lung and right lung. As you know, this left lung has only one fissure, that is the oblique fissure. Now this oblique fissure, it cuts the lung in its whole extent. Okay. Now, by this presence of oblique fissure, the lung is divided into two lobes, upper lobe and lower lobe. In case of right lung, there are two fissures. One is the oblique fissure and the second one is the horizontal fissure or transverse fissure. And presence of these two fissures, this right lung is divided into three lobes: upper lobe, middle lobe and the lower lobe. Again, how to determine the side? But as I told you before, this called side determination. These fissures and lobes, they are not the reliable features. For that, you have to hold this lung in such a way that apex should be directed upwards, base should be downwards. This anterior border faces anteriorly, and this is the root of the lung. It should be medial. Okay. Now these are the reliable features. Okay. If we see the presence of cardiac notch in case of left lung. Again, in this left lung, there is this anterior border is straight downwards. There is absence of this cardiac notch. Again, which is the secondary feature for this side determination. For that means, first and most important thing is that for side determination, you have to rely upon the apex, base, anterior border, posterior border, and this root of the lung, which should be directed medially. Then see for the fissures and lungs, fissures and lobes. Okay. Now this, in case of left lung, this anterior border is interrupted downwards, and there is one tongue-like projection is there, which is called as lingula. Okay. Now this lingula, it represents the middle lobe which is present in the right lung. We'll see the surfaces. We have seen the borders, anterior, posterior and inferior borders. Now in case of lung, there are two surfaces. Anterior surface, sorry, this is the posterior surface and this is the medial surface. Again, this posterior surface is related to ribs and fossa cartilages. Now this medial surface is again divided into two parts. The posterior part, see this part, is the vertebral part and the anterior part is the mediastinal part. In the mediastinal part, there is a presence of this root of lung along with the cardiac impressions are there. So, in case of both the lungs, these visceral impressions which are present on the mediastinal surface, they differ on both the sides. As before I told you that in the last practical, which are the visceral impressions come over here, you have to compare this and you can remember easily. Okay, so this medial surface is divided into two parts. The posterior part is the vertebral part and the anterior part is the mediastinal part. Now this vertebral part, it is related to the upper 10 thoracic vertebrae with intervertebral disc, then the posterior intercostal vessels along with lateral lesser splanchnic nerves. Now this is the base which rests on the diaphragm. So see here, the base of right lung is more concave because the right dome of the diaphragm, the convexity is more due to the presence of liver, and that is why this inferior surface of the right lung is more concave to fit on the convexity of the dome of the diaphragm. Now, as I told you that this is the root of lung. This whole lung, imagine it into the pleural sac. There are two layers of the pleura. One is the innermost or the pulmonary pleura or visceral pleura, which is again covered by the parietal pleura, and both these layers, they are separated by one potential space, that is the pleural cavity, which is lined by the mesothelium. Now both these layers, they are continuous at this hilum, and this is the pulmonary ligament. Okay, both these layers of the pleura, they are attached. Both these layers at this hilum, and this is the pulmonary ligament. Now you know the arrangement of structures in the root. They differ from both the lungs, but from before backwards, the arrangement of structures in the root is same. That is